Kaity Biggar and Shallcross get married in small wedding. June 11, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation news fans. The Bachelor alums Kaity Biggar and Shallcross are officially married. They decided to tie the knot in a small wedding. However, they have big plans for the money they saved from not having a big wedding. Fans are excited to see how their future plays out and are shocked to find out they did this. However, there is a lot to uncover and unfold. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Kaity Biggar wins over Shallcross on The Bachelor. Kaity Biggar was on Shallcross's season of The Bachelor. He had a lot of women on the show who wanted to be with him. However, the ultimate decision was up to him. Kaity was getting one-on-one dates early in the season. This is usually a good sign. However, Zach had messed up a bit on the show when he was intimate with someone else after saying he would be celibate with Kaity during the fantasy suites. Regardless, Zach figured out that Kaity was the one for him and ended up proposing to her at the end. They also revealed that they did not have anyone from Bachelor Nation at their wedding when it did happen. The two tie the knot in a small wedding. Shallcross and Kaity Biggar have officially tied the knot. They had a small wedding in Texas. Tims reported that they were married in May. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, the Bachelor alums tied the knot on May 23, 2025, in Texas. The two had agreed to have a small wedding with only their immediate family invited. They did this so they could save money to buy their first home together. Fans understood why they did this. However, they wish they had gotten to see more of their romantic vow exchange. Fans are wishing them a happy and healthy marriage. It seems as though the two wanted to have a small wedding so they could spend the money to buy their first house together. Fans understand why they would do this, as everything is expensive nowadays. However, this was something fans did not know when it was going to happen, so this is a good shock. However, fans are happy for Zach and Kaity as they start their married life together. What do you think about this? Are you happy for them? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. And Shallcross get married in a small wedding. A tale of love, intimacy, and new beginnings. A quiet morning in Malibu. The golden rays of the early morning sun filtered softly through the white linen curtains of the cozy beach house nestled on the cliffs of Malibu. The waves below whispered their endless lullaby, a perfect soundtrack for a day unlike any other. Kaity Biggar woke with a smile, the gentle light warming her face as she turned to see Shallcross already awake, sitting by the window with a cup of coffee in hand. His eyes, always bright and full of life, were softer this morning, reflecting a quiet joy that came only from knowing the moment was finally here. "Morning, beautiful," Zach whispered, setting his cup down and reaching for her hand. Kaity squeezed his fingers, feeling the familiar comfort and excitement wrapped together. Today, they would say their vows, not on some grand stage or under the harsh glare of flashing cameras, but in a small, intimate ceremony with only their closest family and friends. Why small? For many, the world of Kaity and Zach is splashed across social media and reality TV, a whirlwind of drama, glitz, and glamour. But behind the scenes, their love had grown quietly, deliberately. Kaity had once told Zach over late-night conversations that she dreamed of a wedding not defined by the size or spectacle, but by the sincerity of every word, every touch, every promise. "We don't need thousands watching us," she said. "Just the people who've seen us grow, the people who love us for who we really are." Zach agreed. In a world that often felt too loud, they wanted this day to be a calm harbor, a place where their love could breathe and flourish without distraction. The invitations. The invitations were handmade, simple yet elegant, crafted with care by Kaity herself. She chose soft cream paper, each envelope sealed with a delicate wax stamp bearing their intertwined initials. Only 20 guests received them, family members, a handful of lifelong friends, and a few special people who had supported them through their journey. Kaity smiled as she recalled the text she sent to her best friend. "It's happening. Small, sweet, and perfect." And Zach's reply, "Exactly how it should be." Preparations and memories. In the days leading up to the wedding, Kaity and Zach avoided the frenzy that sometimes comes with planning. They focused instead on the moments that really mattered, writing their vows, picking flowers from a local farmer's market, sharing quiet dinners under string lights in their backyard. Zach's mother baked a batch of her famous lemon lavender cupcakes, their scent filling the house and bringing back childhood memories. Kaity's sister helped with the floral arrangements, carefully selecting wildflowers that danced in the soft ocean breeze. The day of the wedding. The morning was serene. Kaity slipped into a flowing ivory dress that shimmered gently with each movement, her hair braided with tiny white flowers. Zach wore a tailored navy suit, the look simple but striking. As they stood side by side on a small wooden platform overlooking the sea, the guests gathered close, the ocean waves humming beneath their feet. No music played, only the sound of nature and the soft murmur of loved ones. Vows from the heart. Kaity stepped forward first, her voice steady and filled with emotion. "Zach, from the moment I met you, I knew my life was changing. You've been my strength, my laughter, my calm in the storm. Today, in front of those we love, I promise to stand by your side through every adventure, every challenge, every joy." Tears glistened in Zach's eyes as he took her hands in his. "Kaity, you are my best friend and my greatest love. With you, I've found home. I vow to listen, to support, and to love you fiercely for all the days we share." The kiss, the cheers, the beginning. When they kissed, the sun seemed to shine a little brighter, and the waves applauded with their endless crashing. The small group erupted into cheers, but the moment remained intimate, as if the universe itself had conspired to hold its breath just for them. That night, under a sky embroidered with stars, Kaity and Zach danced barefoot on the sand, their hearts full and their future wide open. Set the scene and atmosphere of the day, introducing the couple's personalities and their decision for a small wedding. Backstory and relationship journey, 1,000 words. Explore how Kaity and Zach met, their early days, the public scrutiny, and how they carved out private moments amidst the chaos. Planning the wedding, 800 words. Detail the preparations, focusing on intimate touches, the help of loved ones, and the emotions involved. Full description of the wedding day from start to finish, the location, the guests' reactions, the vows, the subtle details like the flowers, decor, and weather. Reception and celebrations, 600 words. A relaxed, heartfelt celebration filled with laughter, stories, and quiet moments between the couple. Reflection and future, 600 words. Closing with Kaity and Zach reflecting on their journey, hopes for the future, and the strength of their bond. The sun was setting over a quiet, leafy neighborhood nestled in the outskirts of Austin, Texas, casting a warm golden hue on the charming little house at the end of Willow Lane. It was the kind of evening that felt like a secret held just for a handful of lucky souls. The soft hum of cicadas in the background, the scent of jasmine drifting in the breeze, and the faint laughter of close friends mingling with the gentle clink of glasses. Inside that little house, Kaity Biggar was adjusting the delicate lace sleeves of her wedding dress for what felt like the 100th time. The dress was simple, ivory silk with lace detailing on the bodice, flowing softly down to the floor, just like Kaity wanted. No extravagant ball gowns or endless trains. She preferred something intimate, something authentic, much like the love she shared with Zach Shallcross. Zach, meanwhile, was nervously smoothing his tie in front of the mirror, stealing glances at his reflection, catching his own grin in the glass. This was it. A small wedding, sure, but every bit as monumental as the fairy tales. The thought of marrying Kaity, the woman who had stolen his heart from their first coffee date, the woman whose laugh was his favorite song, whose smile was his daily sunrise, made every nervous flutter in his chest worth it. The story before the wedding. Kaity and Zach's journey wasn't one written in the stars, but crafted from real moments. Awkward first meetings, late-night talks about fears and dreams, road trips to nowhere, and shared quiet moments where words weren't needed. They met almost 2 years ago at a mutual friend's birthday party, and despite the buzz of music and chatter, their connection was immediate. Zach, with his easy charm and genuine smile, caught Kaity's eye, and she, with her quick wit and kind heart, held his attention like no one else. Over months, their friendship blossomed into something deeper. They spent weekends hiking through Texas hill country, cooking dinners together, and discovering their shared love for indie music and old movies. When Zach proposed, on a chilly fall evening beneath a canopy of stars, with nothing but the soft crunch of leaves beneath their feet, Kaity said yes without hesitation. But unlike the glitzy weddings they had often joked about during their dating days, they both knew their wedding would be different. It would be personal, it would be small, it would be just them and the people who mattered most. Planning the small wedding. The couple decided to hold the ceremony in the backyard of Zach's family home, a cozy place filled with memories. His parents had happily offered to host, excited to see their son start a new chapter surrounded by love. With only 25 guests invited, including family and closest friends, every detail was carefully planned with intention. Kaity chose wildflowers for the bouquets, daisies, lavender, and small sunflowers, picked fresh from a local farm. The tables were simple wooden benches with burlap runners and flickering candles in mason jars. There were no huge floral arrangements or designer decor, just the natural beauty of the outdoors and the warmth of familiar faces. For the music, Zach's best friend, a talented guitarist, would play acoustic versions of their favorite songs. The food was catered by a beloved local BBQ joint, a nod to their Texas roots and casual style. Zach's morning was a whirlwind of last-minute calls and hugs from family, but through it all, his mind stayed fixed on one thing, Kaity. The ceremony. As guests gathered in the backyard, under a delicate arch of intertwined branches and flowers, Kaity took a deep breath, feeling Zach's hand slide into hers. The officiant, a close family friend who had known them both since college, smiled warmly and began the ceremony. The vows were simple but heartfelt. Kaity spoke of how Zach's kindness and patience had changed her life. Zach promised to support her dreams, to laugh with her through good times, and to stand by her in the challenges. When they kissed, the world seemed to pause, a perfect moment captured by the gentle twilight. The celebration. After the ceremony, everyone moved to the picnic tables set up near the house. There was music, dancing, and laughter as the sun dipped below the horizon. Kaity's grandmother told stories of young love, while Zach's cousins made impromptu toasts that had everyone cheering. Later, under a blanket of stars, Kaity and Zach stole a quiet moment alone, wrapped in each other's arms, knowing that this day, small and simple, was just the beginning of their forever.